I'm going to call Alistair Scott.
Thank you, Mr Chair. The loophole that Mr Parker's been talking about, I say doesn't exist, or the tidy-up that's required, I say doesn't exist. Sure, there are dodgy employers. There are employees that can and are being taken advantage of. There will be employers essentially treating their employees as contractors, for sure. But there is no need to change the law. There is no need to change the law, particularly in this manner. This bill creates confusion around what is a contract and what is an employment relationship. It doesn't help the people that it's aimed to help, and I'll give you just one example. The guys that deliver pamphlets, they came into Select Committee. It's listed, they're one of the people that is mentioned in Schedule 2. They are contracted to deliver pamphlets. A group of pamphlet deliverers came in and said they do not support the bill. They do not support the bill. The reason is because they are not interested in what their hourly rate might be. They're not interested in the hourly rate that they would be receiving under this bill. They want to do the job and get the job done in their own time. And that's just one example. It's not necessarily pamphlet deliverers. It might be guys who are pruning trees, trimming hedges, cleaners, and builders and construction people. All manner of people that are out there willing to give their service for a specified sum. So think about the people who are employing these contractors. Think about the need to be clear on what cost they are outlaying for the benefit that they receive. There has to be certainty, and that's what a contract gives. This bill would bring in a whole lot of uncertainty around the end result in what is today a very fixed price contract, and the terms are now no longer clear. The person who's paying the bills is not really sure what the end result will be, because the costs are associated with some person's ability to work quickly or slowly. It relies on keeping time. And there are people who would prefer to work faster than Mr Parker, or faster or slower than myself. And that's for them to decide. But the contract, when one writes the contract, is clear about the certainty of the cost for the person who's going to pay the bills. And that's very important. And the confusion is the problem with this bill. Now, the underlying intent is noble and worthwhile. And as I say, no one wants to see people, when I say people, I say employees, being paid less than the minimum wage. No doubt. But there are already laws in place to protect those people. There are already minimum wages. There are labour inspectors that go out and about and do exactly that, to make sure that people do get paid the minimum wage. They also check whether the relationship between the employee is a genuine employee-employer relationship, or if it's not. And if there is a situation where an employer is contracting someone who is really an employee, there are also today, there are rules, legislation to ensure that contractor, that head contractor, is not able to abuse the position that he finds himself in, is not able to pay or treat an employee, in reality an employee, as a contractor. So that's the issue. That is the issue. So the Minister has already dedicated more resource into the Labour Inspectorate. That is the solution to the problem that Mr Parker is trying to address in this bill. But in fact, the bill goes, even in the explanatory note to the SOP, narrows let me just find it, applies to companies, the bill is intended to apply to companies only where the company consists of a single person as a shareholder and a director who personally provides the specific service. So there's a lot of conditions that have to be met.
Mr Chair.
Mr Chairman.
The Honourable David Parker.